My first attempt at light painting failed dramatically. I'm back in the same location to give it another go. Good evening and welcome to another video. So tonight I'm going to be doing my second attempt at light painting. Let me just talk you through the settings quickly that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using the ISO 100 obviously because it's nighttime and I'm controlling the light myself. I'm also going to be on bulb so I can control the length of time the shutter stays open, and I'm going to be using an aperture of between f11 and f13. So this is going to be my second attempt with the light painting brush and we're going to see how that goes. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to go and do a couple of test shots. I'm going to get one close to me and then one farther back in the forest just to see how long I need to expose for it to show up on camera, because I have no clue. I don't want to be spending 20 minutes exposing the trees at the back to find out that that was too long or too short. So I'm just going to do a couple of quick test shots and then we're going to go for the full one. Okay, so I'm just going to light up this tree that's closest to me. Now, I don't want to light up the trees for the same length of time. I need to do the ones that are further back for a lot longer because obviously the light is further away, so it takes a longer time to expose. I'm just going to expose one tree. Focus is quite there on that furthest one. The image was a little bit out of focus, so I've just adjusted the focus on it and I'm ready to go through and paint the scene. So what I'm going to do for this one is I'm just going to try and light up the entire scene in some sort of way. It's not going to be anything, I'm not going to put a lot of detail into it. I'm just going to try and get it to see what it looks like to start with. Here we go. First thing I'm going to do is get the tree closest to me and I'm going to put white. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning now. Probably not the right time to be checking the time, but I think it's about 1 o'clock in the morning. Still loads of cars driving around. I try and remember not to aim the torch at the camera, otherwise you're going to end up with a big lens. Well, it's not a lens flare, but be a lot of light hitting the lens. If the microphone's picking up the owl, all that weird, I wonder if it can it hear? It's like vague music. Okay, I'm just going to try and paint the floor with a bit of green to make a little path. Got to remember when you're painting is to keep your body out of the light, because obviously the more your body's in the light, the more it will end up exposed on the image. I don't know if I've succeeded to do that, but it's like a constant, you have to constantly remember these little things, like not pointing the light at the camera, not standing in the light, making sure you spend enough time in certain areas going backwards and forwards to expose it. Okay, so that's that. So the joys of obviously being in pitch black is I can leave that exposing for as long as I need whilst I work out what I want to do next. I don't have to rush this time. So that's one advantage to it being, what is the time? 1:23. But I don't want to stop the exposure just yet. So what I'm going to do, whilst I've got the exposure running, I'm just going to use this little aperture light just to try and get some ambient light around the area. Hopefully it will give the area around the path a bit of light. Okay, so let's have a look and see what that looks like. Fingers crossed. It's actually not too bad. There's nothing artistic about it, but pointing it at the camera there. But most of it, I think I managed to avoid pointing at the camera too much. A lot of green in there though. The green's definitely come through, so that tells me that this is a little bit more powerful than just that little torch on its own. So what I might do is just give it another go and just use this light on its own. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and go just up trees like so. Okay, so that's actually not too bad. The bit on the way back to the thing, it's almost like a ghost coming through the scene. But I've exposed, so this light is very bright. So what I might do is just do it again, but just spend a little bit more time on the path. So what I'll do is I'll expose the trees again the same as I did, but then go further out into the back of the forest to expose the floor more, and also when I come back down this path, just turn the intensity down and then just light that path as well and see what that looks like with the orange. So this time I'm going to expose the main trees with a nice kick of light, and then I'm going to go a little bit further in this time and just get the background lit up a little bit. The trees over here. That's probably messed it up there. I completely pointed at the camera, but maybe what I should do is go up one side and down the other. Trial and error, trial and error. This is obviously where the light painting tools come in handy because they got the hoods. Alright, so I probably pointed that at the light multiple times, but let's find out. Yes, I did. I thought I did. God, so hard to remember. Look at that, look, almost done a whirlpool there. What's that, look? What's that? Wow, but getting better. I think that looks a bit better now. I've exposed like the outside. This time, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go 2 colours. I'm going to go for the orange for the ground, and if I can do this without lighting up too much, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to light this pathway up. I'm going to be a little bit careful with the trees because it will reflect the light, so the ground will be less exposed than the trees, but it's a little bit more beyond my skill level, I think, to try and avoid things like that at the moment. Oh, that's not too bad. Okay, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the second attempt at light painting. I'm quite pleased with the results. I will definitely try this again, and maybe I'll pick a smaller scene this time. I think this one was a little bit ambitious, although I am happy with it. Maybe I'll start a little bit smaller again next time with like maybe a tree or something. So if you did like this video, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. It's much appreciated and it does help with the algorithm. And if you haven't already, please do consider hitting that subscribe button, and I will catch you on the next one.